Vladimir?
Yeah, absolutely. We can start with the whole question and answer a
Uh,
little bit to warm up and to come to the context. Yes, please.
because next week onwards, 16th onwards, our new academic year, the students, new intake students are coming in. And 2 weeks we have orientation of foundation. And after that, July first week onwards, the classes start. So there are some of us who are planning to experiment again with the faculties of consciousness. And I have some friends who want have some doubt.
Yes, please.
So basically, how we are going to go practical, implementing whatever we are discussing here, or we
Well,
can say in our curriculum, how can we include, because of that, the change happen, while delivering the course.
well,
Is there any kind of, pathway, something like that?
Vijayanta, you can say which subject you're teaching so that Vladimir will
Right.
have an
So
idea.
basically, I'm going to start with the economics, manager economics. So we have 15 hours of practicals. So in that we can do, a lot of experiment. So we have a time basically.
yes. You're stating a problem, not asking a question, actually. This problem cannot be resolved in one go, or something introduced into the course which is already running in a different mindset. And there has to be a shift from the, from the third person inquiry, from the descriptive and oriented for the delivery. You have to deliver only. Yes, once you deliver, then you are efficient, and then you get your salary, and that's bye-bye. But we can force our focus on delivery and the quality of delivery, and the quality and speed could be changed with the development of faculties. Of course, it will be changed. The person who knows how to be conscious in one's mind and speech and feelings is much more efficient in every environment. Though you doubt it nowadays, looking at the world and the richest man and the richest people, how they quarrel among themselves, you think, wow, they are so undeveloped, so far away, and they are the richest. So if to be rich, maybe it's a bad idea to suggest them to develop their consciousness, because then they may lose somewhere in the front of money, because money likes stupid people for some reason still. But if you want to have a fulfilling and meaningful life for yourself, maybe you will not be that rich, or you will be just normal rich, doing normal things, but what you would do would be fulfilling. Then of course, I think this has to be not compulsory, but yes, students have to be wanting it. Those who are ready for it, you can have a group who is ready to experiment and work with consciousness and develop this new perception of things. And then, on the longer run, I assume, these people become much more visible and in the society, and everybody asks, what happened to you that you are so good? And then there will be a feedback finally to the system of the development. But before that, you cannot really see the difference unless you really develop the system. The system is not available. Curriculum is not something which is given and then you follow. First of all, you have to work on yourself. You have to embody that consciousness. Yeah? You have to show that it is possible, this integral paradigm of knowledge within you. That's why we are the first guinea pigs, as it were. We are experimenting on ourselves first and try to look to see how it works. If it is not working with us, then you cannot teach it. Then it becomes again something very hypocritical and as everything else. Yeah, information is not really And imparting information, as Sri Aurobindo says, is not education. Education is something which is changing the person's perception and capacity to engage with reality in the most fulfilling way. Not efficient only, but also fulfilling. It has to bring joy to you. Has to make you feel that you're one in this magical reality of creation of the world. And if it is not, if you are suffering from it in order to get money and then to relax, then definitely it's not enough. That's what we want to change. So you tell me now, how would you go for this? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So definitely it's a long process. First, the changes has happened to from the person who's going to lead. So one important thing is the conscious effort. Second is the knowledge about the subject. Ultimately, I realized this by this time that whatever we are teaching, we should make a student self-sustainable, self-sustained. Okay, they can thought on themselves. They can ask the questions. They can think the various same concept in various directions. So
Yes, absolutely. You have to have something within you, the awareness and the capacity. The faculties have to be totally developed, and not totally to the extent possible. And you have to be aware that you can use them consciously. This is something we never did. We are like automatons. We are constantly reacting to the reality. But can you imagine you're not reacting? You are aware that you can deal with any situation, that you can consciously choose what to say, not under pressure, not bending yourself and lying to yourself and others, but consciously operating with your faculties, with your mind, what to think, with your feeling, what to feel. When you speak, to be conscious in your speech, what you say, to hear yourself, which is very important. That means you already have a third kind of witness position. This witness position, this awareness, what we want to develop through the faculties. Once it is even glimpsing there somewhere, people know where to go, we know the direction. And then the whole development of curriculum, of the exercises, of the training of the faculties to become efficient and aware, both. Yeah? Efficient is one thing. You can be very efficient robot. You can be very good with doing something, like a worker in the factory, but you will be not, that life will not be fulfilling because you're not aware of how you function. It's not your choice. You're used by nature. You're not aware of how that nature is a part of you and you are a Purusha, consciousness. And this is something which India offers to the world, and we ignored it because India went to this Western way of development, yes. We have to kind of bring back that heritage of deep, profound knowledge of India into the system. We have to, first of all, we work on ourselves, we recover the knowledge. And then, as Sri Aurobindo says, we start applying it to different sciences, to different subjects, humanities, to your economics. Can you imagine the one who is aware, working in the economical field with money? This is an amazing treat. It's a new world. It's not the person who, acquire more and more money. It is someone who understands how money flows, how it works, what it does. He's not attached to it. He's free from it. He's creative and helps this flow directed consciously into the way it has to go in the for the higher purpose. So even there, what to say about more, in every field, it becomes a very interesting engagement. Nothing is boring anymore. Nothing is something which you want to avoid as a heavy labor. You are getting, you become blissful from working. You are drawn to your work. You want to go to work because there's something magical happening, because you are aware, because you master your faculties, and you can do it in the way that it is fulfilling for your life. So you want that fulfillment again and again and more. This is what we want to build. The rest is how we proceed. We have to find the way. There are many suggestions, but the one system was never built because there were no people to do it. There is no teacher to do it. You cannot teach it as a textbook. There is no textbook even made for this. It's a subjective change. I know we asked too much from, but what else should we do? Now AI will take all our jobs, even mental jobs. Now they are teaching how to use AI in a more efficient way. You can do anything. AI will do all your curriculum. It will sign up the best way. You will not be able to make it the same way. Project proposals, AI will create in 2 minutes for you. So that would, for what you paid money before so much, or you had so much brain power. Now brain power is removed. So what shall we do with our life? How shall we proceed? And I think it's a high time we come back to the basics of Indian system and see what it offers us, learn from it, imbibe it, and so on. The best way to teach is by example. If you can really embody it, if you can show that there is a new way to think, to speak, to be, this is it. Everybody will understand. It's not in the concepts only. Also in the concepts, one mind has to understand, but not only. And not mainly even. It's more psychological change. I hope I don't discourage you with all this.
No, I'm thinking and I'm following the similar kind of path. Okay. The only thing is what? The conscious effort. Unconsciously, maybe the conscious effort.
Yes. We have to
kind of a record what you have to observe. I think that.
Yeah. One has to figure out how to help students and yourself to stay conscious, to operate. So for that, training is needed. We will come to this. We will look into every faculty, what we can do with it to help students to develop it and to become aware of this faculty and how to operate and train. Oh, this is an amazing field. Once you approach it consciously, when you approach it unconsciously, it's like a training exercise. But if you approach it consciously, it's very different. It's really a very interesting engagement. So students may like it because it's always creative, always something to discover. Once they have that joy of self-discovery, the taste, then we are on the right track. Yeah, thank you for your question. Well, you stated the problem actually, and the question is more, I do not know. Today I had to present 12 qualities to you, which is another big topic, huge, because these faculties are one thing to be aware, so to say, to be aware of your functionality. And the other is to be aware of these inbuilt, innermost qualities which you have to manifest in the world. such as truth, truthfulness, love, gratitude, humility, and so on, equality, generosity, courage. These are the divine qualities which, without which the world would be just a mechanical, monstrosity. So this is another big part, of this integral paradigm, which we didn't discuss yet. So one thing is technology of consciousness, how we function, how we see, hear, speak, think, feel, and are in the body, these major faculties. And there are many more smaller ones, which we do not even discuss. And there are these verities, as Mother calls them. Verities or truths. Sri Aurobindo calls them eternal dharmas. Eternal dharmas. This is something interesting. The person who tasted once the eternal dharma in action will never forget it and will always want to come back to it, to feel it again, to experience it again. If you were courageous in the moment when courage was needed and was so difficult to manifest, but it was absolutely needed and you manifested it, you tasted the courage in the moment and it worked. It just generated in you, this sense of you truly are. You are not some kind of part of the mechanism. You are. And that feeling, you want to come back all your life to experience it again and again and again. Only one courage, or what to say, sincerity, when you are truthful in the moment when it is needed. Everybody is lying because it is fitting to their own position or advantage. And you just say the truth in the moment when it changes the whole situation, and you feel that you are free to fly, nothing is binding you. So these are the powers we have to explore, where they are coming from, what they mean, what they represent, and why they're so important. We cannot teach them, unfortunately, but we can create some kind of system or stories through films. We created actually films for each of these qualities. I will send you the link afterwards. Just watch of them. What is gratitude? Or these are marvelous films. You would be fulfilled from one of them, and there are 12 of them. Can you imagine? 12. If you manifest all of them, wow, you have the blissful life. It will be nothing else needed. Yeah. It's not only awareness of how to function. Awareness how to function is one part, very important, but the other part, the fulfillment, the bliss in life. This is what we are looking for. Everybody looks for it, no? Somebody wants to say something? I don't know. Yeah. So shall I then start or something? I want you to understand the qualities, yes? That's why I started in this way. So we have two major approaches to our consciousness. One is functionality, which we discussed until now, and it is such a profound topic, how to be aware, awareness, witness. Witness functions through these faculties. This is what we have to build in one side, yeah? How to function with a witness, being aware. The other is something else, very interesting, is an inbuilt quality, and that's what I was talking to you before, that which entered as a projection of the psychic being, Antaryamin, Chaitya Purusha, in the heart, Hridi Guhayam in the Veda, in the heart, in the cave of the heart, there is a hidden soul, It's our individual soul. And that soul operates through these major qualities. Yeah? Soul forces us to be sincere, even if we don't want to be. When it is closer to the surface, we can't be insincere, even if we try. We don't want to be insincere. It causes pain to us. Yeah? But we cannot make it, we cannot fake it. This is the problem. We cannot teach it. Teach it in the direct way. We can teach it in the indirect way, how to manifest your inner being on the surface. 1 second. Can you hear me? Yes. Sorry for this. Somebody is coming to the house. It's morning, 7:30 a.m. So these 12 qualities. Let me start with them. They interrupted me, so. But we understand what we are dealing with, yeah? The 4 powers of the mother. One is the mother symbol, the mother, Aditi, Aditi of the divine, of the all creatures in the world, of all the gods, godheads, asuras, rakshasas. It is she who is the mother of all the human beings. And she manifests the paraprakriti qualities. I'm referring to that previous presentation. Higher Prakriti, Satchitananda Vijnana. These 4 powers of the mother manifest 4 major varnas or colors, or 4 major engagements of our soul in this world. And that is the man of knowledge, yeah? Man of power, man of delight and bliss, and man of service and support and help, and manifestation in detail, perfection. These are the 4 powers, and you recognize them, the 4 varnas, brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas, and shudras. But these are divine qualities. Yeah? All of them are divine qualities, because without them, Purusha cannot, universal Purusha cannot function. From his mouth, Brahmana was born. From his hands, bahus, arms, the Kshatriya, Rajanya was born. From his thighs, from his torso, let us say, reproduction of everything. And Vaishya was born. From his feet, Shudra came. So for the fullness of development, we need to be Chaturvarnya. We need to embody knowledge. We need to embody the power, how to act. We need to embody the delight and exchange of delight with the world. And finally, to stand on our own feet, to help ourselves and others, to be efficient in this action. So we have to review these 4 varnas. Yeah, we know them as later as castes in India, but that is a very different thing, developed in a very sophisticated system of more than 2,000 castes, which is more conventional rather than this central knowledge. So these 4 are the 4 powers of the mother also. Yes, we have Maheshwari, the power of knowledge. We have Mahakali, the true divine power. We have Mahalakshmi, the bliss and joy. And we have Mahasaraswati, who is the the power of supermind. She is the supermind manifesting the worlds in all their details. If you have any questions or clarification on the way, you can stop me always, yeah? And then I will immediately clarify. Here we are. So this was the mother's symbol. Interestingly, here they are these 12 qualities, and they are also with colors. I will come one by one. The central circle represents the divine consciousness. The 4 petals, these 4 petals, represent the 4 powers of the mother, these 4 which I just named. Yeah? This is Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. The 12 petals represents the 12 powers of the mother manifested for her work. That is how our soul manifests these powers here in manifestation. That's why it is inbuilt in us. Yes? It works itself through the faculties to the surface. It charges the faculties. We become sincere in our speech, in our mind, and so on. Yes, in our feelings. Sincerity in our speech, mind, feelings is exactly how it makes itself breaks through to the surface, through the faculties. So the 4 petals represent the 4 powers I just mentioned, and this is the quotation from Sri Aurobindo. Maheshwari one is her personality of calm wideness and comprehending wisdom and tranquil benignity and inexpressible, inexhaustible compassion and sovereign and surpassing majesty and all-ruling greatness. This is the vastness and purity of the divine being. She perceives the divine being directly. Mahakali, another, embodies her power of splendid strength and irresistible passion, her warrior mood, her overwhelming will, her impetus, swiftness, and world-shaking force. Mahalakshmi, a third, is vivid and sweet and wonderful, with her deep secret of beauty and harmony and fine rhythm, her intricate and subtle opulence, her compelling attraction and captivating grace. Grace is important. Mahasaraswati, the 4th, is equipped with her close and profound capacity of intimate knowledge and careful, flawless work, and quiet and exact perfection in all things. You see, the location is quite interesting. Maheshwari is here, connecting to these colors. Mahalakshmi, Mahalkali is on the top, connecting to these colors. Mahalakshmi here with this yellow and green, golden colors. And Mahasaraswati is from the red to the blue, these violet colors. This is important for you, for your kind of inquiry. So these are the known in the Indian tradition: Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. I just found the pictures and put it here for the beauty of these 4 personalities.
Sir, I have a question here.
Yes.
Sir, in the color palette that has been shown in the previous slide,
I will come
the
to
previous slide.
more. Yes.
In the colors that has been shown for each deity that we have, okay, what is there any correlation between the colors that has been given to Mahalakshmi or Maheshwari or Mahasaraswati?
Yeah, well, you see, but this is where they are located in this. We will see why these colors.
Yeah, I wanted to understand that. Why these colors? Any correlation between the colors
This
and
is
the
where I'm
deity?
heading. Yes, absolutely. I'm heading to this. I will come
Okay.
to that and it will answer your question. Definitely.
Okay, sir.
So look at these colors and their nominations. So you see sincerity and humility. Yeah. The 12 petals. So sincerity and humility are central colors or central qualities of Maheshwari, of her true perception of things, and humility is her vastness, and peace and gratitude are enclosing. Yeah? And for the Mahakali is courage and progress. It's kind of obvious. Yeah? And also goodness and receptivity, she holds this ground. For Mahalakshmi is aspiration and perseverance. She perseveres. She is insisting. She is actually the one who connects and holds the harmonies. And aspiration is this in search of the divine, constant love for the divine, gratitude and receptivity. And Mahasaraswati is goodness, generosity, equality, and peace. Mother says very interestingly that everything begins with sincerity. We start from here, from the pure blue, sky blue. Without sincerity, nothing can be done. Sincerity begins and ends the whole movement of our discovery. If one is not sincere, then you can fake everything. You can fake your humility. You will be very humble. Sir, I am so humble. Or you can fake anything, that your truthfulness, you can fake goodness, generosity, courage. But truly speaking, when you are sincere, you cannot do it. So sincerity is the first and the most important. And the person who says that I am sincere, he has no idea what he says, because only insincere person can say it. Because when you're a little bit sincere, you see how insincere you are in every way, how your nature is, how your behavior is made. You're faking everything, fake it till you make it. Yeah, that's what they say in here in the West. So the first 8 qualities are towards the divine. So that's sincerity, humility, gratitude, perseverance, aspiration, receptivity, progress, and courage. These are for the divine. Interesting. Towards the divine, towards your inner qualities. It's not for the outside. You cannot be sincere with somebody else. You cannot be sincere towards others, or humble towards others. It is a fake quality. Then you are faking it. You can be feeling humility within only to the divine, to your.
So when you're talking about the first 8 qualities, okay, it talks about the first 8 shades in the palette. So we are starting with which shade over here? Okay, yeah, it's mentioned. Sorry, I'm not wearing my specs, so I couldn't see it. Yeah. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Yeah, it answers my question, sir. Sorry.
No issue. And the other 4, you can see is towards humanity. The last 4, goodness, generosity, equality, and peace, towards humanity. Generosity, goodness towards people. Generosity towards people, equality towards people, and peace. This is towards people. This is innermost, towards oneself. This is important. You will figure out later more. This is really a topic for the rest of your life, to figure out why. Why is that so? We can discuss it more. I want also to show you one film, maybe 5 minutes or 6 minutes. You know Matri Mandir in Auroville? Yes, most probably you know. I know, some of you may know. Auroville, I lived in Auroville for 27 years. This is Matri Mandir, and Matri Mandir is the temple of the mother, as you understand, Matri Mandir. So in the temple, there are 12 petals around. These are 12 petals. And each petal embodies this one quality. This is, for example, peace. Yeah, you see the color of peace. This is courage. So these 12 petals around are 12 meditation chambers where you can go and concentrate yourself on a particular quality to develop in yourself. If, for example, you're You are good, you have goodness, but you are not sincere enough. You want sincerity, or you're disturbed and you need peace, or you're not generous enough, or anything of the kind. Yeah. So you are focusing on the quality you need to develop around. And the central, of course, is the total silence, is to find oneself there, one's own central being. I'm just showing you that the embodiment of these 12 qualities is already in the temple, available in India even. So something on the varieties on these, I already mentioned this, maybe I don't need to repeat, but I will repeat for the clarity. The qualities of the psychic being, which are emerging from its own depth, from our innermost being in the heart, are the eternal verities, or eternal dharmas, as Sri Aurobindo calls them. The powers which are constantly transforming our mind, life, and body into a perceptive and suitable instrument of the spirit. There is no other way for the spirit to manifest, only through the psychic qualities. It cannot manifest through the faculties alone. Faculties are intermediaries. They are the connectors, the bridges. They bring that inner light and bliss to the surface. And that's how spirit manifests. Yeah? That's why one is here and the other is in the heart. Both are needed. Without both, the fulfillment of a human being will not take place. These qualities differ from the faculties and are essential for the transformation of lower being into its higher prototype. They must build up a new consciousness within individual and channel all power and knowledge of the transcendental into the material frame of consciousness. This is my text. So here they are. I put also Indian names. I put my Indian name, Satyam Namah Bhakti Dhariti, and also how they actually translate it in Hindi. So sincerity is Satyanishtha, or, wanting to be true always, establishment of truth. Satyameva Jayate. India is actually representing that sincerity, that very truth of our existence. Only truth indeed prevails. Nothing else can prevail. We think that we may fake it and prevail and cheat. Temporarily we may win, but it is only temporarily. Then we fail like anything. At the end, anything which is not true fails. So if you want to build fulfilling and truthful life, this is the way to go, to become sincere in your thoughts, in your words, who you are. You have to examine yourself, learn about yourself, see all your capacities and incapacities. This is the most important power. Humility, vinamrata, or namaha, is actually another very important quality. Once you are sincere, you see that without the innermost divine presence, nothing works. So you become humble. You see that it is not your project, the world, but there is a divine in the world. Yeah? And everyone is trying to fulfill that purpose. And that brings true humility. You understand the struggles of others very well because you see it in those struggles in yourself. That creates humility. Yeah? Humility is something very beautiful. Yeah? We created films we will watch, gratitude. And on that ground of knowing that the divine is sincerity and that everybody struggles to find that way to the divine, generates this sense of gratitude, unconditional love, bhakti, it's a very subtle feeling of feeling the presence, the grace of the divine. Gratitude and grace are connected. You feel the grace. that it works through you and others, that you receive what you need for your development. And that leads to perseverance, the need of perseverance, prayatnashilata, or the holding. You have to hold to be sincere, humble, and grateful. And if you hold on to it, there will be the flame kindled in your heart, in loving and searching for the divine in every being, which opens up to receptivity. You start become receptive of the divine in every form, and then it leads you to progress. You have to progress. You have to move forward with all of it. You see the path. You have to walk the path now. And to walk the path, you need courage. This is in brief, in one sentence, kind of showing you of the necessities of these faculties, of these qualities. And then to deal with this being, which is already progressing and on the path with the rest of humanity, you need goodness, goodwill. Goodwill, Mother describes beautifully. It is like you always look for the best in person. Or person communicates to you something or complains, you look for the truth in that complaint and support the truth rather than the negative form of complaint. Yeah, and then by supporting it, this is goodness. This is goodwill. Yeah? You always find, oh, person is suffering. So why? You're looking why for that truth in it. And when you find it, you can support the person. And he will open up to you. Generosity, it's a very powerful quality, and it is very fulfilling. I will read to you a story. Well, I don't have time for the story. I will add the story about this beautiful actress. When she and her family, they were very poor at the beginning, and she with her father and mother went to the circus. You remember the story, most probably some of you. It was in the beginning of the 20th century. The life was quite poor. And she went to the circus for the first time, and she was so excited. And they came and they stood in this, queue to get their ticket, because there were many people. And in front of them, there was a family of husband and wife, very properly dressed, but they were poor, but they were clean and properly dressed. And they had 3 kids who were very excited to see the circus, and they were shouting, let us have this and that. They anticipated the beauty of this event. And then when they came to the cashier to pay for the ticket, the husband realized that he doesn't have, that it is too expensive for 5 of them to have 5 tickets. He doesn't have money for it enough. And he looked at his wife. And his wife looked at him, and children didn't notice yet. And so her father, who was standing behind, just dropped $20 on the ground. And then he picked it up and said, sir, you lost the banknote. And he took that banknote, looked into his eyes with tears, and said, thank you, silently. And they returned home that time because they didn't have money for the circus. But she said that feeling, that was most fulfilling, better than any circus. This is dhanam, generosity. Once you experience it, you want it. You want it again and again and again. You feel the truth in it. So the same equality and peace. Peace is not something also meaningless or tamasic. It's not doing anything. It's a very active state of tranquility, of being happy as you are. Yeah? This is peace. It's a very luminous feeling. So here they are, the location of all the qualities with colors, important colors. It's amazing how colors work also. You will look into it by yourself, I guess. I wanted to go through all these, but I went in my own way. But some of them I will read. These are Mother's words. Do you know what perfect sincerity is? She says. It is never to try to deceive yourself. Never to try to deceive oneself. Never let any part of the being try to find out a way to convincing the others. Never to explain favorably what one does in order to have an excuse for what one wants to do. Wow. She destroys our being, you know. We all do just this. Never to close one's eyes when something is unpleasant. Never to let anything pass, telling oneself, this is not important, next time it will be better. Oh, it is very difficult. Just try for 1 hour, and you will see how very difficult it is. Only 1 hour to be totally, absolutely sincere, to let nothing pass. That is all one does, all one feels, all one thinks, all one wants is exclusively the divine. Only with this state, in this status, one can do it. When you rely on the truth of your being, only then you can be this. These last few days, this is an important also, I had an opportunity to work on the proportion between the expression and the fact. Let me explain. First, you have the experience, then comes the expression of that experience, and the proportion between the divine simplicity of the experience and the realizing power of the expression is what gives the measure of perfect sincerity. So one is inner experience and the other expressing that experience outwardly. The ratio between the two must be perfectly true. You should not exaggerate or diminish that expression. I saw in that almost a key to assess sincerity. We can assess sincerity. Are you fully truthful in your expression to what you are in that moment of time? You may be not much, but you should not pretend to be something more than you are. In that sense, we can really start from near to far. We can start moving because we know truly what we are, what we deal with. But if we don't have that proportion properly established, then there is always we mean something which we are not, or we think that we have to be something and we express it already, but we are not. And that creates this hypocrisy which we are dealing with all our life. Humility, true humility consists in knowing that the supreme consciousness, the supreme will alone exists, and that the I is not. To be humble means for the mind, the vital, the body, never to forget that without the divine, without the truth which prevails, they know nothing, are nothing, and can do nothing. Without the divine, they are nothing but ignorance, chaos, and impotence. The divine alone is truth, life, power, love, felicity. This is humility. That's why it's not towards others. You cannot be humble towards us. In India, they do this, you know. They play humbleness. Oh my goodness, I'm so like humble. This is not humbleness. This is something timidity of some kind. I was always laughing at this. So please don't play humble. It doesn't work. In the West, they are never playing humble. They are opposite. They're self-asserting. I am, you know. In India, they're just the opposite. You cannot assert yourself. Gratitude, a loving recognition of the grace received from the divine, a humble recognition of all that the divine has done and is doing for you, the spontaneous feeling of obligation to the divine, which makes you do your best to become less unworthy of what the divine is doing for you. I wanted to show you maybe gratitude film which we created. What do you think? Do we have time? It's a short one. Let me... Or shall we open to the question and answer session?
We can see the film and then open to.
Yes. Okay, let me then see where it is. Okay. This is an important thing. You will feel it because these are mother's words of a very beautiful film. Okay, let me project then.
I have become a foam-white sea of bliss. I am a curling wave of God's delight, a shapeless flow of happy, passionate light, a whirlpool of the streams of paradise. I am a cup of His felicities, a thunder blast of His golden ecstasy's might, a fire of joy upon creation's height. I am His rapture's wonderful abyss. I am drunken with the glory of the Lord. I am vanquished by the beauty of the unborn. I have looked alive upon the Eternal's face. My mind is cloven by His radiant sword. My heart by His beatific touch is torn. My life is a meteor dust of His flaming grace.
There is another movement which should constantly accompany devotion. That kind of sense of gratitude that the divine exists. that feeling of a marveling thankfulness which truly fills you with a sublime joy at the fact that the divine exists, that there is something in the universe which is the divine, that it is not just the monstrosity we see, that there is the divine. The divine exists, and each time that the least thing puts you either directly or indirectly in contact with this sublime reality of divine existence, the heart is filled with so intense, so marvelous a joy, such a gratitude as of all things has the most delightful taste. And yet, of all movements, the one that perhaps gives the most joy, an unalloyed joy untainted by egoism, is spontaneous gratitude. It is a very full joy, very full. It is something that widens you, that fills you, that is so fervent. It is directionless. To feel simply happy, to be quietly happy, a happy gratefulness, a loving recognition of the grace received from the divine, a humble recognition of all that the divine has done and is doing for you. Always joyfully accept what is given you by the divine. Physically, materially, upon earth, it is in gratitude that one finds the source of the purest delight. It is very difficult to keep up your gratitude. For a time it comes very strongly, and again it goes back. The pure flame of gratefulness must always burn in our heart, warm, sweet and bright, to dissolve all egoism and all obscurity. The flame of gratefulness for the Supreme's grace, who leads the sadhak to his goal. And the more he is grateful, recognizes this action of the grace, and is thankful for it, the shorter is the way.
Okay, this is what we created for each quality. They film like this with the quotations of the mother and poetry to give that kind of sense of what it represents and what it is about. It has to be felt, wanted, aspired for, experienced in a way. And once it is so, then there's something possible. We are all human beings and we are all having our souls there. So they respond to this. If you bring this to the educational environment, whoa. You will have something very, very different. So here we are, two systems, yeah? Technology we develop. It is possible to train, to deal with in the classroom. Yes, it's possible to become aware. Everything is very doable. And we will look into it in the future presentations. I will give you one by one. Yeah? We'll look into it, how to create curriculum for the development of the mind and the speech, the word. I even imagine that in the future there will be only this type of school, class of the word, class of the mind, class of the, seeing and hearing, how to learn how to see, how to hear, how to speak, how to think, how to feel, the classes, how to be in the body, master your body, how to master oneself. But without these qualities, that mastery becomes like a robot, very efficient robot, but no, not fulfilling life anyhow. You will do everything very efficiently, will have all the pleasures of outer life, but the inner life will not be fulfilled. All right, I stop here for today, and you have anything to say, please do, or ask questions.
Yes, Namita.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, there is the concept of having these 12 qualities. You told that if you come to know that you're missing onto something, that you can work on them, right? So if you don't know what you're missing on, how you can work on them?
What am I missing? Nothing. I'm so happy already. Then it's fine. If you don't have any missing feeling, then what shall we do? Well, don't start
Not
looking.
like that. Not like that. No. It's like there must be a parameter. Somebody must be at 100 and something, 5 on somebody. Somebody must be 5 on some pointer. Somebody must be 7. Say, for example, out of 100, I'm 5 on all.
Well,
So,
you know it. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
so that was the question. Now the question is right, I think.
Well, you know that if somebody is stingy, you see it. He is not generous, yes? He's hiding something all the time. He may be not generous in knowledge, what he does. He will always be very, secretive about it. Will never share what he does. He's not sharing his knowledge. Others are not sharing their money. Or he is very generous in money, but not in knowledge, or opposite. So these are visible things. Mainly people who are having deficiency, they are hiding it from themselves. They don't want to know about it, that they are stingy. And if you tell the stingy person that he is stingy, he will not believe you. He will think, I am so generous. I've seen so many people. I'm totally generous. Am I not? No, you're not. You're just the opposite.
Well, I have the next question to whatever you said just now. Like, for the qualities that you've been mentioned, sincerity, humanity, generous, all the quality that as an individual, we need to be aware where I stand. Okay. it's not necessary that we will be 10 on 10 on everything. Just adding on to what Namita's question was. Okay? It's not necessary that we will be 10 on 10 on everything. Somewhere we'll be 10, somewhere we'll be 9. Okay? Or somewhere we'll be 0 also. That's what consciousness teaches us. We understand where we actually stand. So once we know that, we are trying to develop ourselves. Develop ourselves so that, from 0 I can come to 2, 3, 4 and subsequently reach to that level of 10 if you are interested in. But then, sir, as you said that somebody who is stingy but is trying to predict that he is very generous, somebody who is not at all sincere towards the work but is trying to pretend that he is very sincere towards the work that has been that the work that has been assigned to him or the task that has been assigned to him. Okay, and we all know that the person in front of us is bluffing. In that situation, okay, how do we handle our emotions? How do we handle our consciousness?
Well, as Mother says, everything starts with sincerity. If you're not sincere, how can you really know anything? You're not truthful to yourself. So you will be pretending always to be humble, to be grateful. Yeah, I'm very grateful, thankful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's all on this surface. There's nothing. It's all on this behavioral level, yeah, where I gain by my humbleness, by my thankfulness, by my loyalty, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretending to be loyal, sir. Pretending to be loyal. It's not that they are actually loyal, but we from the behavior we come to know that they are pretending to do certain things.
Absolutely.
So in that situation, how do we handle our consciousness or how do we handle our behavior?
Sincerity. You have to start looking at yourself for who you truly are. If you don't do this, it's useless.
Mm-hmm.
The ego is so sophisticated, it will always present the biggest difficulty for even here, there is a spiritualized ego. When you know too much or you already did a lot of work, and then your ego is becoming so refined, so sophisticated, it knows how not to behave, it knows how to present yourself as totally truthful being. It's amazing what ego can do, yeah. So that's why Mother says first 8 qualities are towards oneself, not towards projecting them to the others, because that's the game.
Yes. Thank you so much for your answer.
Just one question. Suppose I am teaching at a class and listening to the student's problem. Suppose a student says that, okay, probably he has some problem and he is describing the problem. And as you rightly said during your lecture, that we should listen to the problem itself and we should understand. But suppose the student tells us the lies that is actually not true, then how do you listen to that kind of a problem?
Right. Well, then you listen behind that. You are hearing what he actually wants to say by that lie. He wants something. Something is deficient there. Something is looking for. There is some truth in it, yeah? Something he is looking for. He wants to make an impression because something. And finding that, not to tell him that he is a liar, you're a liar, but to find the truth of his search, yeah, why he is doing it. So we are never listening to we will come to this, how to listen. This is the conscious listening, yeah. We have to hear others complain. Why not complain? We have to see and the problem, but what he is looking for. What is there that he wants to realize? There is some truth in it, yeah? Some position which he cannot handle, and he wants to find the true position for himself. And if you are listening with this mind, not what he says, but what he wants to say, you are listening to what he wants to say. And everything else is just the manner or the presentation. Presentation can be very wrong and very misleading. But if you have that deep listening, true goodwill, to hear what the person is saying, you will find the truth. And once you find the truth and highlight it for the person and deal with that truth he wants, you don't need to say, no, it's not like this. You say, yes, I understand what is there, yes, and not in a negative sense, in a very compassionate way, a friendly way, let us say, rather than compassionate is also a very tricky thing, the superiority complex that things. No, not that way, that you understand. And then things change dramatically. There is a very good technique which is called nonviolent communication technique. Most probably some of you know, yes, of Marshall. He invented this technique, much to learn from it, how to be positive in relations, and not violent. Because one can be violent even in love, saying loving words and be very violent.
Yeah.
So how not to violate somebody's truth and actually deal with it? This is a technology we have to learn. This is a technique, can be learned, yes.
Because we may be having anything like, AI is present. Suppose if you're an engineering college, machineries are available. But unless we change the way we communicate, then everything will be useless.
Absolutely.
It's the most important thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, one can be even very sincere and this and not having this technique, one can be very offensive to the person.
Yes.
So, yes, it's important, this balance. This is goodwill. It's a good example what you brought. To listen with goodwill to the difficulties, even to those who are, what Sri Aurobindo says about criminals and he says to hate the sinner, somebody sinned. We are all sinners because we sin in our mind, we sin in our feelings, in our words, constantly. It's not something we are not familiar with. To hate the sinner, he says, is the greatest sin.
Yes.
We have to uncover why it is so. Because the sinner is the person who needs help. He doesn't need condemnation. It doesn't help. Condemnation doesn't help. You need to find the truth. That is goodwill. You need to come to that point where everything got distorted later, but to that truth, that there is a grain of truth always behind everything. Behind everything.
Exactly.
If we are able to do this, wow, we can change the world. And this is only one quality, goodwill. By the way, with this goodwill, Mother said for Auroville is open to all people, with goodwill. Only goodwill is the requirement. If you have a goodwill, you are welcome to live in Auroville and build a new world. Everything else will come.
Right. Sure. Thank you.
Dr. Anjan, I remember today we were having a conversation where you mentioned this in classrooms. If we all could be having a positive attitude, it just reminded me of that. Instead of seeing the negative things too much, you bring in a positivity.
Yeah. Same thing, actually, in the class, we listen to many negative things, that this is not happening, or that's not happening, this is not convincing, we don't get the answer in this way, that way. These are all negative things, But if we just look at the positive aspects of the whole thing, probably that will give a certain answer. I think Dr. Vladimir has given the same thing. I think the line of answer is the same.
That video on gratitude was very, very helpful.
Yes, true.
Yeah, that central position we have to find, that true position, who we are. And once we see the problems which come to us, they are mainly temporarily, and we see the temporal character of the problem, that it is now in this moment of time. So because of that right position which we have, if we don't have that right poise of the soul, relation to our true self, then it's very difficult to deal with problems, yes? Because they look like huge elephants and they're really just passing problems. They're not main problems. Also, they could be distortions in our perception or our education or language or misunderstanding. So many elements which are composing those problems, which are non-existent really, in a view of the true position. It is very little needed to change it, very little, and you will solve all of them. By the way, problems also come to us for the reason they are coming to us because they have to be solved, yeah, by us. So if I have this problem or this issue or this difficulty, obstacle, that means it shows me where I have to apply my consciousness, where I have to work. It shows me the path. It helps me to find a way for my own, fulfillment. It's amazing, yeah? It's like pain in the body is attracting you to show you where the problem is, where you have to pay attention. Oh, here, there's the pain, I have to put some cream, yes? The same there. In India, there are some people who have no fingers. They lose all the fingers, beggars going around. This disease, I didn't know, but I found out from someone, from the doctor, why it happens. They lost sensitivity in the hands. And by losing, it's not bacteria, it's not something. They lost sensitivity in the hands and paying not attention to how they operate with their limbs, they damage them more and more and more until they are losing all their limbs. The pain is the indicator where you have to pay attention. Consciousness has to be applied. That's what pain is about. In Sanskrit, it is called Vedana. Vedana means to make you aware of, making you aware of the problem, where you have to concentrate your awareness, your force, your action. This is why obstacles are there. So if we see them, if somebody shares with you this problem or that problem, you can address it in that way. Let us look into that. What is there to be solved? It becomes interesting with conscious attitude. It's a totally new engagement. Somebody said, did you learn to welcome the obstacles? You didn't learn yet to welcome the obstacles because you're full of power to solve any obstacle. Yeah, these are the elements of the new education which have to be kind of one by one, presented and dealt with. And that's what we have to learn in the class. How to be the efficient and conscious human being. Yes?
Any other questions? Because we'll be meeting only next month now.
Next month. Yeah.
That means, if we change ourselves with the faculties of consciousness and if we develop ourselves to such an extent that we can become an example to students also. Students will try to imitate me. In that way, there will be a change in students.
Absolutely. This is the best way to be an educator, by example. This is 80% what students read. They don't listen to what you say if you are not that. They are not interested in some information. They can get it from Google or from ChatGPT. They will get everything, all the best explanations. Now they want to orient themselves in life, how to be active. Yes, we are the first batch of this education. We are not teachers, we are facilitators. We are co-learners. We are walking the same path. And if we have that attitude, things change.
True. Thank you.
Thank you. All
I
right.
think I'll just like to add one thing, sir. I think, most of us have been brought up listening to all these characters, all these, qualities that we need to become one, to do oneness. Okay. But somewhere or the other, this has gone at the back of our mind. Okay. Now it is time for us to bring those things once again in front, and not just hear about it, but try to teach this and bring this in the coming generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Try to embody it and show by be that, yes, be that peaceful, generous being full of goodwill and compassion. Not compassion. Compassion is a tricky word. Goodwill, not compassion. Compassion has some superiority, even compassion. We are using these words so easily without really understanding them.
The meaning of it, yeah, the actual literal meaning of it.
Great, thank you for your comments. And so then I will close here with a minute of silence and we meet next time.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.